So in this video, I want to talk to you about the Trimester 1 project. This project is designed to let you really go deep into one of the topics that we have talked about this year in the course. So how do you access all the materials for the course? How do you know what the plan is and what the guidelines for the scope and sequence of the course are? So to do that, you've got a few options. One, you can access everything from the calendar, which is linked here, or you can also access everything from the folder Trimester 1 Projects. I'm going to start by looking at the calendar. I think that's a little easier to explain. So we go to the calendar, and on the calendar, I'm going to zoom in here. What you'll notice is that when we go and we look starting here in October, you'll know that we're starting our first semester project. So if you will click on the video, which you're watching now, that will tell you, obviously, all about the project. This right here, Project Options and Rubrics, will explain everything in the project to you. So let me go over the overview, and then I'll get into these specific options. All right, so what are we doing? You have a week to decide on the project. That's here in the green. Then you're going to propose your project to me by writing it on this discussion board here. Then you've got about a week and a half to work on the project and turn it in on the discussion board. You will be turning in your project directly to the discussion board. Why? Why not just email it? Well, you're turning in your project to the discussion board because everyone else in the class is going to look at your project and give feedback, okay? That's why we're posting them to the discussion board. Then, this week here, the week of the 6th through the 10th of November, you will view each other's projects and offer helpful comments. You will need to respond to at least 4 of your classmates' specific projects, constructive, helpful comments. Then the person that posted the project will need to reply back to your classmates' comments, okay? So basically this is about a 3.5 week project that will take place. You can see when everything's due. You've got a week to come up with the project idea. You've got about a week and a half to work on the project. Then you've got a week to view the projects and offer your comments to everyone else. All right, so let's get into it. What are you doing? If you click on this link here, it takes you to the trimester projects, the guidelines. All right, so I'm going to kind of zoom in and we're going to go through this. Total project point value is 60 points. This is the biggest point value of the course we've had so far. You're learning about it by watching the podcast here. And we tell you the due dates for all this stuff. Once you've decided on your project and topic, the type and the topic, you're going to post it to the discussion board. I'll show you an example of that in a moment. Then, once you're done, you'll turn it in here by this date, view the projects, comment on them, etc. So this is just all the tasks you need to do, also found available on our calendar. All right, so what can you do? Well, I wanted to give you a menu, an option. So what you have to do is you have to choose one of the project types. So here are the types, okay? Once you choose a type from this table, you choose a topic from this table. So I might choose a 2 to 3 page research paper from this table, but then I would need to choose a topic that we went over from this table. So I would choose a 2 to 3 minute argumentative research paper on global health and vaccines. All right. So let's go through each one of these. What you'll see is I've told you whether or not you can work with a partner, and I've given you a rubric for each project type, and then I might have listed some extra resources. All right, so the first one is perhaps the most basic. You have the option for type 1 of doing a 2 to 3 page argumentative research paper in APA format on one of the topics. This is on your own, no partner. And if you look at the rubric, basically what we're asking you to do is to do some research, do a title page, come up with a thesis where you're going to argue a point about one of the topics that we looked into, right? Consciousness is not real. We made it up. Okay. All right. That's a little ridiculous, but maybe that's your thesis. You'll do introduction paragraph, body paragraph, conclusions. You'll have to have a works cited. And then I'm also going to have some quality points down here. The way to do well on all of these projects is to utilize the rubric. I use the rubric when I grade it. So you must follow the rubric when you're doing your project. Okay? So you could choose to do the argumentative scientific research paper, 2 to 3 pages, and then you choose a topic. All right, so let's say then you say, I don't want to do a paper. Okay, well, the second option, the second item on the menu, is to interview an expert in the field about one of our covered topics and make a video or audio recording. If you choose this one, you can work with a partner. All right, so let's say you're really interested in the idea of mental health and you want to interview a psychiatrist. So you and your partner pick a specific thing. Maybe you want to look at post-traumatic stress disorder and the way it's affecting military families. So you go interview a psychiatrist at the VA clinic. Then what you would do is you would use this rubric. You would research about that topic. You would go and ask questions to that interviewee. And I tell you exactly, this is what I'm looking for, making sure the questions are open-ended in a logical order. And then I need some good quality. The video and the audio is good. Everything is together. And I even give you some hints how to use, if you're doing Audacity to do the audio, if you want to use a recording program to do the video, etc. All right? So, okay, you could do a research paper. You can record interviewing an expert. You could interview an expert, and if you don't want to record it, you could then write a newspaper article that you could then submit to the CUSP. Now, there's no guarantee that they will accept it and print it, but we could submit it to the Cannon School newspaper to see if they will accept your article. So if you want to look at that rubric, again, we're going to look that you've well researched the topic, that the article has a headline, including the date, that you've included some images, that you've quoted some people. All of these particular items in the rubric need to be covered. Okay, so then we also have, if you don't want to interview someone, but you still want to write an article for the CUSP, you could do a myth-busting article, right? Maybe you want to bust a myth about GMOs, right? That's been a topic. Well, bust that myth, why don't you? Write an article for the CUSP, and here you go. Here's what I'm looking for, right? You've got to make sure that you did your research and that you follow these guidelines here, that you have quotes from Cannon students, you've got really strong details, it's factually accurate. You can sort of read through all of these. I'm not going to read this. This video would be 50 minutes if I read through everything in these rubrics. Now, for you artists, if you say, oh, I'm not into the writing, I really want to create an artwork. Now, if you choose the artwork piece, I want it to be something that actually takes some time for you, right? I don't want you just to sketch out something over 10 minutes on a piece of paper. No, I want this to be an impressive piece of artwork that shows you put some time in it. This is a trimester project, right? So it should impress me that you put in an effort worth 50 points or 60 points worth of effort. So you could create an original piece of artwork, painting, drawing, infographic, t-shirt about our topics, and you have to include a one-page written artist statement. So if you look at the rubric, you will get a grade for the aesthetics of the artwork and the academic content in the artwork, but a lot of the points will come from the written statement as well, okay? So if let's say you choose to do an artwork about consciousness, and you do this painting of the brain and this idea of consciousness and sensory information, right? That could be amazing and beautiful. But then you need to write a written statement telling me what that means and why you chose that topic. Okay. Another option is if you want to make a little podcast like I make, a little herder-like video presentation where you really go more in depth on one of our topics. So I don't want you just to repeat what I've already told you, right? Don't just do another video on mental health and neurotransmitters, right? I've already done that. But let's say you pick a particular mental health issue. Let's say you go really deep into bipolar disorder and then go a lot more into the mechanisms and potential side effects and all of those things, all right? So you could do an informational video if you'd like as well. The rubric for that is linked, of course, as well. And you can see I'm expecting an introduction. We want lots of really good facts that are accurate, show your depth of understanding. And I'm also expecting really good editing on these, okay? Not just something that's grainy and that we can't hear. So if you don't know how to do this stuff, you need to do some research, watch some YouTube clips, figure out how to do this if you're going to submit this. Remember, this is a large percentage of your grade. Okay, so you got two more options. You can also choose a classmate, so this would be something you can work with a partner, and record a debate about one of our topics. So let's say you want to choose GMOs to debate, whether or not they're healthy. So you and a partner set up a little debate on a little stage somewhere, and you and a partner debate the effective use of GMOs, or maybe you make a claim that GMOs should be widely produced and should replace non-GMOs as the main food source, right? And then your partner would do the negative side of that debate. The key to that is that it has to be 10 minutes or less because your classmates will be watching these so that they can comment. If you do that rubric, I tell you what the sequence of the debate must be like, first, second, third, fourth step. And then here's how I will grade it and give you points for that debate. Obviously, to do a debate, you need two people. So you will have to have a partner from the class to do that. And then finally, your last option is also something that you would record and upload. And this would be a newscast explaining a recent headline related to one of our topics. So many of our topics are, very relational, and some of them are new, right, in the world. So maybe there was some new drug that treats bipolar disorder, or some new way of understanding consciousness, something we found in the brain. So you could do a newscast, right? Pretend you were a newscaster, and record yourself or your partner or both of you giving and explaining what that news headline is. And you can even use my green screen if you want that to look really professional. The rubric for that is here. And I want that to look good. I want that to have good audio quality, good video quality, and I want it to be accurate and you to explain it well like it is on a newscast. Okay, so to reiterate, you have several options. I created a menu for you. You choose one project type, and once you choose the type, you choose the topic. So a myth-busting article on mental health, an argumentative research paper on neuroscience. Once you decide that, then you post it to the discussion board. On the discussion board, Trimester 1 Project Choice Discussion, this is directly linked from our calendar, or again, you can come down here, Trimester 1 Projects, Project Choice Discussion. Here's where you write, I would like to do a short educational video on the topic of consciousness, and then give me the specifics, particularly the idea of perception as hallucinations, and then tell me why. Because I admire Mr. Herder so much, he's a genius, and want to be a YouTube star like him, okay? That's what you would say in this choice discussion. I will then comment on everybody and tell you whether that's approved and maybe give you some more information. Okay. Once you are done with that, you will upload your project here. Trimester 1, turn in your project. So if it is a Google Doc, you would just link it in your comment. If it's an audio or video file, you attach the file, okay? But what we need is your comment needs to include, right down here is where you attach files and links and things. Your comment needs to include your project, okay? Then that next week, you'll go back and you'll comment on other people's projects. Okay, this is meant for you to have some choice, some autonomy, right? I designed this class to be different from the others because I want you to choose what you're interested in. Choose what you like. I gave you a menu so that you could choose the topic you like and that you could choose the way you wanted to show me what you know about that topic. If you have any questions, stop by my room, ask them. I'm happy to help. If you want to borrow my green screen or my microphone, let me know to make it look professional. I'm excited to see what you do.